What you're about to discover will forever change how you view every like, every share, every minute you spend online. There's an invisible war being waged for your attention right now, and you don't even know you're in the center of the battlefield. The same algorithms that promise to connect you to the world are silently reprogramming your brain, and the results are more terrifying than you could imagine. In the next few minutes, you'll discover how tech companies are using psychological tricks that make cocaine addiction seem like child's play. And worse, you voluntarily hand over hours of your life to them every day. But there is a way out, and it starts right now. Have you ever stopped to think that, as you read these words, a silent war is being waged behind the scenes of human creation? This is not a war with weapons or soldiers, but a battle for the very essence of creativity, authorship, and human expression. In studios, offices, and laboratories around the world, machines are learning to do what we have always considered uniquely human: to create. They paint pictures that fool art curators, compose music that moves listeners, write poems that touch readers, and develop ideas that surprise experts. This rebellion of creative machines did not arrive with gunfire or violent demonstrations, but with the frightening silence of algorithms that learn, evolve, and begin to invade territories that we have always considered our ultimate refuge of human uniqueness. What makes this revolution particularly insidious is that it is not destroying physical jobs or replacing manual labor. It is threatening the very spark that defines us as a species, our capacity to create, innovate, and express our unique worldview. While you watch this video, neural networks are being trained with every photo you've posted, every song you've listened to, every text you've written, learning not only to mimic what we do, but to predict what we will do next, to anticipate our creative desires, and, eventually, to replace them. This is the story of how we gradually lost the monopoly on creation, and what we can do to rediscover our voice in a world increasingly dominated by machines that learn to express themselves. The first time a machine created something that genuinely surprised a human being probably went unnoticed. Perhaps it was an algorithm that generated an unexpectedly beautiful melody, or a neural network that produced an image with original composition, or a language model that wrote a deeply metaphorical verse. What began as academic curiosity has quickly evolved into a silent revolution that is transforming entire creative industries. The most disturbing characteristic of this rise is not the speed at which it happens, but the naturalness with which we are accepting it. When an AI system generates an advertisement, composes a jingle, or writes an article, we often fail to distinguish the machine's work from human work. And in many cases, we prefer the machine's version because it is more efficient, cheaper, and more predictable. This gradual acceptance creates an invisible danger. As we delegate more creative tasks to machines, we gradually lose our own creative abilities. Like a muscle that atrophies from lack of use, our creativity may be withering away as machines learn to create. The paradox is painful. We have never had so many tools to express our creativity, yet we have never been so tempted to outsource it to algorithms. And the problem goes beyond the simple replacement of skills. There is a deeper issue at play. When machines learn to create from what humans have already created, they inevitably perpetuate and amplify existing patterns. They become distorted mirrors of our own creativity, reflecting not what we could create, but what we have already created. The result is a gradual flattening of genuine innovation, a homogenization of creative expression, where the new and revolutionary are gradually replaced by predictable variations of the familiar. The cruelest irony of this silent war is that we ourselves are training our supposed creative enemy. Every photo you share on Instagram, every song you listen to on Spotify, Every text you write in an email is being used to feed the same algorithms that may one day replace your creativity. The machines aren't creating from scratch. They're recombining, recontextualizing, and reinterpreting everything we humans have ever created. They are gigantic mirrors reflecting our own creative image back to us, but in a distorted and optimized way for engagement, not genuine meaning. This training process creates a profound ethical problem. The data that feeds these machines was created by humans, often without their consent or compensation. Artists see their style imitated by algorithms, musicians witness their sound being replicated by AI, writers find their voice echoed by language models, all without permission, attribution, or payment. What makes this situation particularly perverse is that many of the humans whose work feeds these machines are gradually being replaced by them. It's as if we're signing our own creative dismissal warrant byte by byte, upload by upload. And the problem goes beyond the economic aspect. There's an existential question at stake. When machines can create works that thrill, move, and inspire humans, what does that say about the nature of human emotion? If an algorithm can write a poem that makes us cry, compose a song that gives us goosebumps, or paint a picture that leaves us speechless, does that mean art is just recognizable patterns and predictable combinations? Or does it mean we are projecting humanity onto machines that don't understand what they are creating? This crisis isn't just about jobs or the economy. It's about the meaning of human creation in a world where machines can fake creativity. As machines become better at mimicking human creativity, we face a crisis of authenticity that undermines the very foundations of art and expression. When we cannot distinguish between human art and AI art, the concept of authenticity becomes problematic. Art has always been valued not only for its aesthetic beauty, but for its testimony to human experience, for its ability to communicate profound truths about the human condition through the unique vision of a creator. But what happens when the creator is an algorithm that has no experiences, no emotions, no consciousness? The resulting work may be beautiful, it may be technically impressive, it may even evoke emotions in the viewer, but it lacks that spark of authenticity that comes from the suffering, joy, struggle, and triumph of a truly lived life. This crisis manifests itself in a particularly worrying way in the visual arts. Galleries and museums are beginning to exhibit AI-generated works alongside human works, often without a clear distinction for the casual visitor. Collectors pay significant sums for AI artworks, raising questions about what they are actually buying. A digital file that could be replicated infinitely, or some kind of algorithmic certificate of authenticity. The problem is even more acute in the performing arts. When AI systems compose music that sounds genuinely emotional, or write screenplays that feel profoundly human, we are witnessing what some philosophers call the problem of absent consciousness. The work communicates emotion, but does not emerge from emotion. It expresses meaning, but does not emerge from meaning. This disconnect between expression and experience creates a form of hollow creativity, beautiful on the outside, empty on the inside. And perhaps the most worrying aspect is that over time, we may lose our ability to discern between the authentic and the artificial. Like a palate that becomes accustomed to artificially flavored foods, our aesthetic sense may adjust to prefer the smooth perfection of algorithmic creation over the uneven and imperfect beauty of genuine human creation. Faced with this silent invasion of creative machines, a human resistance is beginning to form, not with violent protests or technological sabotage, but with a deliberate rediscovery of what makes creation genuinely human. Artists, writers, musicians, and creators from all fields are beginning to explore territories where AI still stumbles. The beauty of imperfection, the depth of the personal, the courage of vulnerability, the wisdom of profound cultural context. This resistance is not about rejecting technology altogether, but about using it in ways that amplify rather than replace the human voice. It involves embracing the imperfections that make human art unique, the visible brushstrokes that reveal the artist's hand, the variations in timing that show the musician's breath, the narrative digressions that reflect the writer's mind. The resistance also manifests itself through a renewed appreciation for art that emerges from genuinely human experiences. Works created from personal struggle, from deep love, from devastating loss, from transcendent joy. Experiences that machines can simulate but never truly live. Perhaps the most promising development in this resistance is the emergence of post-AI art, works that consciously incorporate and comment on the presence of artificial intelligence in our creative world. Artists are creating works that explore the relationship between human and machine, that question the nature of authorship in the algorithmic age, that celebrate the qualities that remain uniquely human. This art form does not attempt to compete with AI on its own turf, but completely redefines the playing field. Resistance is also happening at the educational level, with a renewed focus on developing skills that machines find difficult to imitate. Critical thinking, emergent creativity, those ideas that arise from non-linear mental processes, emotional intelligence applied to creation, and the ability to synthesize diverse life experiences into coherent creative visions. The rebellion of creative machines doesn't need to end with human surrender. In fact, this may be the catalyst that finally forces us to rediscover what it truly means to create, innovate, and express our unique humanity. Every work we choose to create with our own hands, every story we choose to tell from our own experience, every melody we compose from our own emotion is an act of resistance against algorithmic homogenization. This isn't a battle that will be won with protests or legislation, but with a renewal of our commitment to creative authenticity. The future of human creation isn't in competing with machines at their own game, in speed, scale, technical perfection, but in fully embracing the qualities that make us irremediably, gloriously human. Our ability to find meaning in chaos, beauty in pain, truth in contradiction. Machines may learn to imitate our patterns, but they cannot live our experiences. They can replicate our styles, but they cannot cultivate our wisdom. They can analyze our emotions, but they cannot feel our passion. If this exploration of the silent rebellion of creative machines resonated with you, imagine what other frontiers between human and artificial are waiting to be discovered and understood. Want to continue this journey through the transforming territories of human and artificial creation? Leave in the comments how you're personally navigating this new creative landscape, how you're using AI in your work, what concerns you have about the future of authorship, what discoveries you've made about your own creativity in this new context. Your experiences can help others find their way through these turbulent waters. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to follow our next explorations about how we can cultivate a more meaningful relationship with technology while protecting what's most essential in our humanity. And if this exploration of the silent rebellion of creative machines resonated with you, share it with someone who also values human authenticity amid the algorithmic revolution. Together, we can begin building a future where technology amplifies rather than replaces the unique spark of human creation. A future where machines and humans co-create rather than compete, enriching our world with a diversity of voices, both human and artificial.
Meets the light, a single song.